Hey guys, I'm going to jump right into this one. So the image you see in front of you is Loehmanns Plaza. We were all hanging out at Randolph's Teen Disco, North Miami Beach, Florida, somewhere between the years of 1985 and 1987. Yeah, I know, way back in the day. It was just a regular night. I was hanging out with, I'm going to use first names only, Tony, Hugo, Rick, and myself. Suddenly there was like a large gust of wind and the trees were moving very crazy. And we looked over and we saw something elevate and hover. Fast forwarding to now, so many years later, I can tell you it wasn't a blimp. As you can see here, how it slowly goes up. It's pretty big, but it wasn't that. It wasn't a stealth bomber. As you can tell from this image here, it needs a runway to take off. This thing elevated and hovered. There were no propellers. So I never seen anything like it way back then. Now there are UFO shows all over Showtime. They're talking about how they're releasing a lot of classified information and more sightings have been revealed. And it's funny too because up until about 3 years ago, I never even heard of the Great East Coast sighting. So I brought this up to a coworker. She did a little bit of research. She came back with, oh, there was a Great East Coast sighting of 1986. And I was like, wow, all that time I was looking and I never found anything. And she found it instantly. And then I'm like, why wasn't there more coverage on this? So I figured, let me just come out with a video and start off with that. So apparently a lot of people saw this. Many in eastern U.S. see mystery lights, light in the sky. And actually, from what I experienced, they weren't light. I mean, yeah, it was a saucer-like thing like you've seen all over the movies from everywhere. And I remember a lot of red, yellow, and green lights just flashing. And, I remember Tony was one of the guys in the group, and the first thing that he said was, oh, that's that thing from the government. And that's all he said. His dad was a retired Air Force guy, so we kind of like blew it off, as soon as he said that. Now, I think about what if it was such a big event for him, he didn't know what to do, but he had to control the situation, so he made up a statement like that. Who knows? I've been looking for any type of aircraft that has that kind of capability. I don't think there's anything that the U.S. has built that is like that. This thing was humongous. I mean, it was like the length of, if you put 5 aircraft, like big jumbo jets, nose to nose, and you put them 5 across, it was about that big. It was huge. And we saw it for maybe about like 200, 300 feet away, or 300 yards, my bad, 300 yards away. And the amount of wind it just generated was just unbelievable. But so it hovered, stayed there, spun around for a while, and we were just watching it the whole time. But the speed of this thing that was so huge, that was the most impressive thing I've ever seen. And it's funny too because, when I hear about stories about the green men and you get pulled up in the thing and you get probed and everything like that, I'm just like, that's a little crazy for me. But I know what I saw. And this whole time I've been like trying to piece together what it was and everything. And so this video is pretty much to find out who else was there that night, who saw that, and even if some of the guys that I mentioned on this video, if they happen to just run into this, it's me. I mean, I'm one of the guys, we were all hanging out. But just share your stories because I've always wanted to validate it. And it's funny that 35 years later, I'm still thinking about it and I know that it was something. So give me an answer to what it was, if anything. Give me an answer to what it was. But as you can tell by these articles and everything, the sighting was true. Everything was there. I saw it, and I'm putting it out there. So, okay, guys, stay tuned for more.